What is good, everybody? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by Jordan JC in the building,
Yo.
talking about the GM and what he's talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I don't know why I went with that. I don't know why I went radio voice. I'm tired,
He's
man. You
talking
get what
about.
you get. Talking about what he's talking about. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Ryan Poles talking today at the podium, basically revealing nothing, but still revealing maybe something, right? Like, but
A little
not
bit,
really
yeah.
nothing because I mean, the cards are right here, man. The cards,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, you know what I'm looking at right here. Oh, what y'all got going on over there? Yeah, you can't see these cards. Oh, trading Justin, maybe you never know. Wrong card, but so he's got all the cards still close to his face.
Oh, that never gets old.
And realistically speaking, Matt Eberflus said absolutely nothing today. So we'll talk about kind of the things that we gleaned from their comments. The one thing that they did say that was interesting was that they want to do right by Justin Fields. And my question is, what does that look like? What does doing right by Justin Fields look like, realistically speaking? And is that here with the Chicago Bears or with another team? We'll talk about all that and more. And I'll tell you this right now. DJ Moore wants help. DJ Moore's crying for help. That's what
crying out.
DJ Moore's comments are telling me. As we got to get into that as well.
He knows what he wants.
On today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's get into it. JC, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. I looked at both pressures. I came away impressed with the fact that they again gave away nothing. No direction whatsoever. Just a whole bunch of middle ground.
Yeah. It was an interesting, presser that we ended up seeing there because when you hear from Ryan Poles, I do think there were some things that were interesting that he said. And one of those things was that he wants to do right by Justin Fields. And I thought, as I was going through the day, of course, you break down kind of the generalities of everything that they go through and kind of what it means, what it doesn't mean, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that every interview that I saw him do today, of course, most of them are going to be Justin Fields based, right? Because at the end of the day, the conversation that everybody cares about is Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But he said, I'm not giving the plans away today. There's nothing in motion today. We're not sitting here presenting you with what the game plan is. And honestly, we're just trying to make sure that we're making the best decision and that we're doing right by Justin. He got asked that question. Based on the timeline, when do you want to make a move on Justin Fields? And so I guess for you, JC, the question, what is doing right by Justin Fields look like? And is that something that happens here with the Chicago Bears, or is that doing right by him by sending him to another team?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I think, with the fact that there was no absolutes in the presser today with Ryan Poles kind of giving nothing and staying neutral, which is what he's been doing the entire time. Even last year he did that. But I think what that ultimately means is you could look at it both ways. You could say he would do right by him by letting him know, in a certain amount of time after they go through the evaluation of the quarterbacks to say, hey, Justin, you're our guy. We kind of went through all of the, what we needed to do to truly evaluate Caleb or whoever else they're thinking about taking. And we're going to move forward with you because we feel like you're the better candidate to build around, and we would be better by trading that pick and then getting every other position of need addressed. Or you could say, okay, Justin Fields, we appreciate the time you had here. You really were a good leader. We appreciate the culture that you set here. But we're going to do right by you by trading you to a team in a situation that may allow you to still thrive and get better as a quarterback in the league. So could that mean, like we've always talked about, going back home to Atlanta, trading with the number, for the number 8 pick, or probably a later round than that? But could that mean that as well? I think the way that Poles goes about his business, he keeps in mind the personal aspect of it as well. It is all business. But at the end of the day, even when you look at how he addressed Cody Whitehair and Eddie Jackson, and how he let them go early so that they could get in a situation that could be best suitable for them going forward. Maybe go to a team that's playoff ready and win, things of that nature. So I think that you could look at it from both sides of the fence when he says that.
C-Dub, we welcome C-Dub into the show. Oh, different lighting downstairs. He's either got the lights on. Normally, it looks like he's in like one of the back rooms, like where it's like that's where all the evil things in the world happen. That's usually where it looked like he coming from.
I just decided to go ahead and just turn the lights on behind me, man. Normally, I'm gonna go ahead and just turn those on, man. Give it like a better overall view.
Hey, man, what are your thoughts on the press conference that we saw today, and what do you think doing right by Justin Fields really means? You're our Justin Fields. That was gonna be a pause. That was gonna be an early pause in the show too. You're our Justin Fields probably biggest fan on the show, shall we say? Let's put it that way. What did you hear in the presser today?
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like Poles is still doing this, man. I definitely feel like if I'm guessing which way, if I had to pick a direction that I feel like he's going to go based on that conference, I would say he's going to go ahead and draft a quarterback at number 1. He's going to take the pick. But I feel like he is giving us just a little bit, but he's not going to give us enough because he can't just come out and say, I'm going to take the pick or I'm going to trade the quarterback, because then that weakens his trade value, whichever direction he decides to go.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like what he's doing is he's probably going to take the pick unless this generational haul we talk about is possibly coming through the pipeline. If these other teams are really this serious about, drafting Caleb Williams, they want to get number 1 overall pick, I do feel like, it's going to take a lot. He said himself, at a bare minimum, I will look for something similar to last year. And that was, to me, I think that was his baseline. So that kind of told to me he's going with drafting probably Caleb Williams or a number 1 overall pick. Obviously, they got to interview him. They got to get to know him. They got to see all these other variables. But
yeah,
if that haul comes through and the haul is something that you just can't pass up, and he's looking to build this team going into the future, I think even better than Peter King's offer, where we had 9 picks in the first 2 rounds in the next 2 years, it might take something better than that for Poles to move off of that position.
Yeah, it's interesting because, and I think here's the thing, even when you heard Poles talking today kind of about, the comparisons with Caleb Williams to Patrick Mahomes, he said there's similarities, a lot of the off-schedule stuff and the arm angles and stuff like that. But what was funny was somebody, I think it was, I forget her name, on CBS. She did an excellent job with her interview. She said, the last time you were entertaining drafting a quarterback was literally the last time you came away with a generational quarterback. What was that process like? And now he's in a position again to try and come away with a quarterback. But it's funny when you see even him talk about it, right? He's talking about Caleb Williams in a very measured way. He's not over-loving or under-loving Caleb Williams. He's not sitting there saying he's one of the best talents I've ever evaluated. He's not sitting there saying he's the worst thing that we've ever seen. And I think the fact that he's taken that measured approach, it makes me feel better as a Bears fan overall that he's our GM because of how he's approaching it, right? Like, it's just, when I heard Ryan Poles talking today, and even when he talks about Justin, right, it's very, very, to me, it's still that same measured sense, but maybe showing a little bit more love even now than we saw at the end of the season, right? He's talking about Justin Fields important to this team. He's important to me. He's important to this locker room. Everything that those guys are saying in that locker room, you should believe, right? Like that's why I think the cards are still so close to the face here. And we'll see. Like, tomorrow, they're supposed to be speaking with Caleb Williams. Courtney Cronin talked about that with me over on the Bears podcast today. So we'll see what that ends up being. And with that, right, if you come out of that meeting feeling good, Baki just tweeted us this. Shout out Baki, member of the show, who's not ever on the show, but is always in the comments, always sending us good information. Just tweeted us this from I guess Josh Schrock just dropped this nugget over on NBC that the Falcons are emerging as the number 1 trade option for Justin Fields and have contacted Justin Fields, a source have contacted the Bears about Justin Fields, a source has told NBC Sports Chicago. So the conversations are starting. You're starting to try it, right? Like you're starting to have to, all right, you're not going to just sit here and hold your cards the entire time. At a certain point, you got to put them on the table.
We got to see him a little
And
bit.
I asked Courtney, I said, when do you think a deal like this is going to end up getting done? When do you think something like this is going to end up being, the best timing for this, I should say? And she was like, listen, expect it to be the same timeline as last year. The Bears have free agency coming up. They've got money. They've got options. They've got Jalen Johnson to focus on here. They've got other things they need to focus on. If you're getting the right offer at the quarterback position, the Bears are probably going to take it.
Yeah, it's starting.
I think that
go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. No, I think that one thing that was interesting, going back to your point about how he felt about the evaluation of Caleb Williams, and I was really even killed. One thing that I loved, I don't know if it was a reporter that mentioned this, but it was brought up that you have possibly two types of quarterbacks. You have your artists and you have your surgeons. Such a good thing. I really like that line. Yeah, artists are the ones that can kind of paint outside the lines, can give you your off-balance throws, the different arm angles, the creativity. Those are the ones that you look at and you're completely wowed by and excited by. We talked about that a little bit yesterday about the heartbreak good and the heartbreak bad. You kind of take the good with the bad with those type of special type of players. But then you have your surgeons who we mentioned, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning's, that you know what you're going to get with them because they're very surgical. They do exactly what they need to do to win the game. The elite of the elite game managers who just know how to play the game from first to fourth quarter. So, what are you taking? And then he said, you know what, that I like both, but at the end of the day, I want a winner. Which is what he ultimately said. I need a winner. And I like the way he put that because he's not going to give you, any insight into which way he's going to go, which direction he's going to go. He wants somebody who's going to come in here if Justin Fields leaves, that's going to contribute to winning right away.
And that's the most important thing, honestly. It really is. And that's why, to me, right, and shout out to the Breeze chat. We got to shout them out real quick. Jay Grizz in the building. How's this shirt a medium? This shirt is very loose, Jay Grizz. Like, it's not medium at all. In fact, I think it's an extra large, dog. We will have Breeze merch coming out. That was the point of all of that. So just stay tuned in with us on that as we get the website ready to go, pretty much. We're getting that website up. Little bro finishing the polishing touches on that. So we'll have a website soon. We got an app dropping as well. Hold on now. We're doing big things, big money
things
time,
over
baby.
here. About to hit 30K.
Coming our way. Shout out Football CF Candy in the building. Says, disagree, Pat. Even making Mahomes comps was surprising. And he believes that Poles did show his hand. I don't know if he showed his hand. I'm not going to lie to you because, like, to me, and I think, hold on, I think I saw Mike Nice in here too. Mike Nice said, if they're talking to Caleb, that means they're looking at drafting a QB. To me, this is a year where you have to do more evaluation on the quarterback position because Poles was in a situation last year where, one, everybody you looked at was kind of like, I don't know, okay, maybe. Yeah. Like CJ was the one that maybe you felt the best about, and he ends up being the best out of the bunch, so maybe you missed something there. But I feel like coming into this year, you were going to be evaluating quarterbacks no matter what because this is the first year where you feel like you're putting a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback in a position where he doesn't just go out there and die. I think you have to evaluate the quarterbacks when you have the number one overall pick in this draft, even if just not to say we need to make sure that we're not giving up the generational talent. We need to make sure that we're not missing out on an amazing haul here by moving on or an amazing player here by moving on from this historic level haul. Like, I think that's like, it's still the due diligence of it. Now, am I probably feeling like more so than not, you're going to see a new quarterback here in Chicago at this point? It seems like it's leaning that way.
Yeah,
it does. It feels like it may be leaning that way, but I don't feel like Ryan Poles has given an indication one way or the other. I'm just basing that off of all the reports that we've heard, all of the talk that we hear, everything that everybody in the world is reporting is pointing to Justin Fields not being here. They could all be wrong, and Peter King could be right. Because I love how Dan Patrick says it. Peter King don't just send up balloons to wait and see if they pop.
Right.
Like that, like when he said that the other day, I was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. What if Peter King is just like, he's the only one that's got the real
He's the
information?
real insight.
That would be hilarious,
He
dog.
got polls on speed dial, like, hey man, what's really going on?
That
Just tell
plug,
me.
man. I mean, that's the thing, man. We really
on his way out.
We really don't know which way this is going to go, and it's just that, you know, obviously he can't fully tip his hand, so he's not going to fully support it one way or the other. But it is interesting to see. I'm very curious to see what happens if he does get that ransom offer that he just can't pass up, man. Like, and it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a split decision on fans. Some is going to hate it, some are going to love it, because some really want Caleb, and then some of us really wants Justin Fields to stay on the team. You know, but he also said he doesn't feel pressure no way, one way or the other. Like if they, you know, if he's going to trade Justin Fields, he doesn't feel pressured. If he's going to trade the pick, he's not afraid of doing that either. So, you know, Fields, man, this dude is a master chess player, man. That's the only way. I'm a fan of it, honestly.
Yeah, I said this yesterday. I think that Ryan Poles will make a definitive decision. Or at least he will reveal what I think he already is going to do once he interviews Caleb Williams or any of these other prospects that they may go with, which I believe either happened or is happening this week from some of the reports I read. Not really sure.
Complete anarchy.
Complete anarchy.
It really would be.
You know what? That would be crazy.
Nobody's mentally prepared for that. I'm not gonna lie to you. It would be complete anarchy.
I would be upset about that one.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't be mad, because I look at Jaden Daniels and I'm like, yeah, you put the right pieces around him. Jaden Daniels is gonna be a pretty good quarterback at the NFL level. I don't know if I trust Drake May as much. I'm not a big North Carolina quarterbacks guy. You know, PTSD. But dog,
same jersey number and everything.
Bro, it would just be so funny if he was just like, like everybody. It's the Kermit meme, bro. You ever seen where it's like Kermit in the hood is like, do it. Should I trade the first overall pick and Justin? Just the villain looking back, do it. Like, bro, that would be complete anarchy. You know, the one thing that I do love about this, like you were mentioning, kind of like how he wants to get it done, is the timeline of all this. And we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors over at Aura. And then I want to come back and talk about the timeline of this, because Ryan Poles, it's almost like he gave a construction line. We're going to do things right. We're going to do things quick, but we're not going to do things in a hurry. Wait, what? How you do it? You know what I mean? So we'll talk about that on the other side. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. What we got? We got over 100 in the chat. First off, over 100 in the chat.
Let's
Only
go.
35
Get
likes
the
on the
likes up.
video,
Get the
though. Only
likes up.
35 likes. Let's get them likes up, man. We got a super chat here from that dude, J773. Said, would you guys trade the number 9 pick for Snead if they franchise tag, then trade him? No.
No.
No. I get it. He's a proven weapon. But no. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not because I think they're both like I would say Romeo Dobbs is going to end up being a Romeo Dobbs. Roma Dunze is
Roma
going to end
Dunze,
up being a better NFL receiver than what Snead is already.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather go through. If anything, I'd rather go through the draft from that one.
Or not receiver. He's going to be a better receiver than what Snead is as a DB already. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if I'm valuing one of the other, plus we get like 700 DBs a year. Ryan Poles has been here 2 years, and
he's hit on all of them.
You know what I mean? Like, he's been here 2 years, and he's gotten 6 DBs.
Yeah, no, we're good on that.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think that yeah, I would pass on that. First of all, for the mere fact that, and I know we'll probably get into it, but another one of the things that I like that came away from the presser was, the contract talks with Jalen Johnson. I don't think that we need a cornerback because it looks like there's a strong possibility that's going to get done.
We'll see what listen, he said, he came out, he said, we're throwing strong numbers his way. He put that all back in Jalen Johnson's court. The one thing that I do want to talk about, though, is that I think kind of going with the new report that we have now, with the fact that Josh Schrock believes that, or he is reporting that Atlanta has contacted the Chicago Bears about Justin Fields. When we heard Ryan Poles talk about the timing of all this, when we heard him talk about he wants to go out and he wants to get this done tomorrow, and everybody like kind of laughs, and then he goes, "No, I'm serious. Like, I want to I want to figure out when we can get this done as quickly as possible because he doesn't want Justin Fields to be living, as he said it, in the gray." He said he's basically that it's no fun living in the gray. Nobody wants to be in the gray, right? You want to know where you're going, and he wants to show that level of respect to Justin Fields when it comes to the next team he's going to go to. He's given a lot of guys their opportunities in free agency, working out contracts and things like that. You want to have all that worked out before the season gets here. So when you hear him say he wants to get this worked out quickly, but then he goes, but we're not going to rush any of this. We're not rushing. We're not hurrying up. What does that mean to you? What did y'all hear with that? Because for me, I'm like, okay, is the bones of a deal getting done at the combine? Are the trades coming at the combine? Is because he had literally said, I didn't come here for this. Didn't say he wasn't going to leave here for that reason.
Yeah. I think that this is all, again, hanging on the interview and the conversation just to make sure that whatever direction they go in, they're assuring their decision. Ryan Poles has to sit down with Caleb Williams and, again, really check his character. I think they've already done a lot of scouting on Caleb Williams. They brought Cliff Kingsbury in for the interview for OC, so they got some nuggets probably from him. They've done enough scouting probably during the college season on Caleb Williams to see how special he is. But I think they want to make sure with all of these opinions going around about Caleb's leadership skills and the off the field issues, and can he step up to the plate when the lights are the brightest? Can he face adversity? I think they're trying to make sure that they're 100% convinced that if they go with him, they'll be okay with that decision versus letting Justin go. Obviously, he would want to know that tomorrow, but I think with the process of the combine and getting to the interview. I think that's what he's waiting on. I think that's kind of technically what he's trying
Yeah,
to
he's
say.
like not really trying to like tip his hand, but like saying like, all right, this is going to happen real soon, and if everything works out well, if I get the right offer, I'm just going to pull the trigger. I'm not going to play around with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to see who like how far I can bid against one team against another. If I can get Fields to the right spot that benefits him, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to pull the trigger.
I
But
just love the respect he gives to Justin. I mean,
yeah,
you see him here. He talks about the face is crazy. Somebody AI'd a different face on that, by the way. That's hilarious, bro.
and they
That's
need to put some
hilarious.
respect on that
He
man's
still got
name.
that.
Hey, that's the face right there. That's the you know what it is.
Yeah.
Nah, stop playing with it. And if we go down that road, I want to do right by Justin as well. No one wants to live in the gray. I know that's uncomfortable. I wouldn't want to be in that situation either. So we'll gather that information. We'll move as quickly as possible. We're not going to be in a rush and see what presents itself and what's best for the organization. I just the conversation on be quick but get it done, or don't rush but get it done quick.
Yeah.
Like that to me speaks to, okay, we're in a crunch time timeline here. We're the numbers that we're hitting right now is, I would say, maybe T-9 days until a deal is done.
Or sooner.
Possibly.
Like that's realistically where I think we're at right now, because when you look at, this is where everybody's going to start jumping. His phone hasn't stopped ringing. I think in one interview I saw him say he had to put it on do not disturb just for the interview because his phone hasn't stopped ringing. You know what I mean? Like
It's been
people
blowing up
on both sides, and it's not just Justin Fields. You guys got to understand that, right? Like it's Justin Fields on one end for a couple of teams. I do believe Atlanta's probably hit him up to try and see what they can get for him.
Maybe
But
Pittsburgh.
on the other end, you see the pick that's available, and now people are probably getting antsy because it's like, wait, y'all gonna talk to Caleb Williams? Wait, are you guys seriously considering drafting Caleb Williams? I thought you guys were going to stick with Justin, right? Because I don't know what wins Peter King was getting, but he said the winds are saying that they're trading the pick. I was like, where's that wind at? I'm not feeling any of that breeze. But
something we don't know.
If that's the case, maybe somebody inside of the organizations, maybe the Peter King article being a smokescreen, if it is, right? Like, is that getting other teams into a panic? Is that getting Washington into a panic? I mean, like that. That's why, to me, he said Peter King was getting farts. No wind, it's just a fart. What's that smell? What's that? Oh, I could taste it. The winds of change are upon us.
You hate them kind of farts. No wind. Just
no.
Oh
God. Who did that? Ryan, was that you? Was that you, Ryan?
Did you say you trade the pick?
Trade the pick. No, but I feel like right now, when you talk about the timing of all of this, we're finally getting close to coming to an end with everything, all the stories that have been built up. And it's good to see like that it feels like one way or the other, it's ending in the right way.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's literally going to be, hey, guess what? We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've done for us. We're moving on. Or, hey, we got this generational haul. Come on in. We're building around you. We believed in you. We appreciate you for everything you've done for this organization. Either way, you got a tough conversation coming up if you're Ryan Poles.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, if he's leaning away, it's probably like 70-30. Like he's probably like, or 75-25. Like I'm leaning towards drafting that quarterback, whether it's Caleb Williams or someone else. Most likely Caleb Williams, but the other 25% is, and he probably in a perfect world will love to keep Justin Fields. It's just you got this possibly historic quarterback, and you get to reset the QB clock. It's so many different possible benefits that come along with all of this. And then as a Justin Fields fan, I even had to just kind of come with the acceptance of it all to say, hey, you know what? This is probably the direction we're going in, man. We're trading Fields. We're going to get as much as we can for him, but he's going to respectfully do it, and so that way he won't alienate the locker room as well. So it is what it is, you know.
I do like the approach that Poles takes, because there was somebody that did ask him about, how do you feel about that maybe uneasy conversation you could potentially have with, say, Justin in trading him. He said, no, it wouldn't be uncomfortable at all because, by the players. Again, I go back to the example of Eddie Jackson and Cody Whitehair. It looks as if he has a track record of really, even though he is the GM and it's about business first, he's doing whatever he needs to do to make the team better. He also dignifies his players, and whether it's former players or current players, I think he gives a certain level of respect and digs into the personal side of things, which you can only respect. And so, as we come up on this decision, it also allows, a peace of mind with everything he's going through and unfollowing everybody. So he needs to make sure he's in a good headspace too.
Yeah. No, 100%. And that's what's going to be really interesting to see with the Bears kind of moving forward in this and how they're going to deal with it, right? Like this is, and it's not just Caleb, right? They're talking with everybody else. They're talking with Drake. They're probably talking with Jaden. They're probably, right? Like you're probably talking with Bo. Like they're going through the quarterback. They're going through the quarterback carousel here. They're going through everybody that they can to try and figure out what the best decision is for the Bears. And so that's why it's so interesting because like Hayes is joking around about like, what if there's anarchy and they trade the first and Justin? What if they do? What if they identify somebody later that's going to be in a better position and you can put more weapons around them, right? I think what's interesting.
Is my internet bad?
Yeah, your internet was glitching a little bit.
It was?
It was glitching a little bit.
Oh, okay. It looked good to me. Every time I talk, I look like I'm smooth. But okay, all right.
Yeah, every now and then you go out and you come back. You'll be all right though. But no, just doing their due diligence, man, and that's why, like I said, like the process that we've never seen the Bears go through a process like this.
Yeah.
We've never seen the Bears go through a logical process like this. Yeah. Like I actually feel like no matter what decision we end up going with, there's a path to success. I've never felt that way.
Hey, don't it feel like we're an elite team? Like we're getting talked about as much as the Cowboys.
Calvin said we already elite.
No, not like paper. I'm talking about as far as media coverage. That's what I mean. Like as far as media coverage, like we're the main topic on everybody's mind.
Yeah, everybody who got the number one pick usually is. I mean, even in basketball, that's every sport, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. We wasn't really asking all these questions about Victor Wembanyama. We knew who was getting that one.
Shut up, Baki.
L said, is Pat Dog team Justin or team Caleb? I don't know. Lulu probably is team Justin. She a big runner. Lulu's probably team Justin. Coda's probably Coda ain't down here. I thought Coda was down here. Coda's probably team Caleb because he don't like to run a lot. He wanna stay in that pocket and rest.
He don't like to run.
He don't want to move that much. He want to stay in that pocket and rest. Here's the one thing that I thought was very interesting with Chicago Bears moving forward. Now Coda's definitely team Bears. That's the one thing. Have you seen him? He's a monster. He's a bear. I love having Akitas. It's by far my favorite dog breed I've ever owned. The one thing that I thought was interesting, though, out of all of this was DJ Moore also got a chance to talk. And no matter what you feel about the quarterback position, DJ Moore absolutely feels like,
as he should,
the Chicago Bears need help at the wide receiver position.
As he
like,
should.
That they do.
He had a career season with Justin Fields, didn't he?
For sure, he had a career season, and he believes that there's no prospect in the draft better than Justin. He did say that as well, but I think it's more so the fact that like he's literally just like, please, like just get somebody else to catch this football, anybody else to catch this football. Like that's what I hear when he's like, my pick would be MHJ. Oh, okay, so you want to pair up, right? Like you would think more times than not, if you're the number one wide receiver, you wouldn't want to bring somebody in.
Yeah.
That could potentially become the number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
Right.
This man, like, please.
Hey, listen.
MHJ, best receiver in the draft, possible generational talent as a wide receiver. Come on now. Let's get up in it.
Come on down. Help me out. Help a brother out.
He said, I'm going to still get my 1,000 yards either way.
Bro, it's just, it's one of those, like when I heard his interview today, it spoke to, right, like the first thing I thought was, okay, we're probably not going to be in a position to get MHJ because we're probably going to be moving around. We're probably going to take the number 1 pick, so we're not going to have the rest of that draft capital. So how do you get that wide receiver help for? Like that's the tough. Like, are you going in free agency? Are you are you going to attack some of these receivers that maybe are getting a little bit older? Are you going Mike Evans on this? Are you going yeah, I mean, like Michael Pittman probably ends up getting franchise tag, but maybe a Michael Pittman on it.
No, yeah, the Colts would be crazy to let him go.
How do you address the need that DJ Moore is begging for help on?
But Justin Jefferson supposedly is available too, right?
Man, listen, if they trade,
that ain't happening.
They trade Justin Jefferson to the Bears, you just call it a career. You're gonna be fired next year. You're gonna be fired. You trade Justin Jefferson to a divisional appointment, you're gonna be fired next year. You got no hope. You got no hope. JC, stop looking at the chat, man.
I'm sorry.
Hayes, leave him alone, dog. You know they got ADHD.
To figure out if I am I still here? Am I still moving correctly? Like, what
no,
you
fine.
The man said I'm in a Thriller video.
You only had like
good Lord, man. First of all, it's always them two. It's always Hayes and Steve-O.
Go do a show. Go
do a show.
Y'all can't focus. That chat be killing y'all, bro.
Oh man. Okay,
like right here in the line of sight too, so it's like you can't miss the chat.
Hit the X. You can close the chat.
But low key, I want to see what they saying too.
Not PK up in there talking about that. Ain't he supposed to be on right now? Come on, PK.
It's supposed to be a tornado watch, so that might be why your internet jack.
Yeah, the city of Chicago is crazy right now. But anyway, man, I'm gonna stay focused. Let's get I gotta get my blood. Let me go ahead and do like this.
Yeah, you got to Ryan Poles. You got to Ryan Poles. There you go. Now do the rest of the show just like that.
Yeah. What you say? Exactly. No, I ain't looking.
How do you feel like you go about addressing that if you're not in a position for an image? I mean, like, are you going I mean, there's some good names later in the draft, but listen, Ryan Poles has not done a good job of identifying wide receivers. But maybe with a new team in there.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe in a new team in there or with a new offensive staff in there, you get more of an opportunity on that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's actually the reason why I would go wide receiver at the top of the draft, because you're probably gonna hit on the pick more than trying to take a chance on some journeyman or some can't miss prospect or some sleeper in the later part of the draft where you're probably not good at picking. If you're good at picking DBs all throughout the draft, I'm going with the special talent that everybody knows is probably going to be good with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
that's just how I see it.
Yeah. How do you get that? I mean, that is trading. That's only that you can't even trade with that. That's only sticking with Justin. That's the only way you can do that.
Yeah. Oh no. That's it.
Like that's the only way that you can get Marvin Harrison Jr. in there is sticking with Justin. Which maybe, I guess here's the thing, right? One, you want to see Marvin Harrison medicals. I don't know if he's going to be running. Courtney said that he doesn't know. She doesn't know if MHJ is actually going to make it to the draft, and if he does, or to the combine. If he doesn't come to the combine, you don't get his medicals. You don't get to see kind of in the inside of what's going on with him physically. You don't get to see the 40 times on, but you already know what he is, right? Like, why would he run?
Yeah,
not worried about him. I guess I would be a little worried about medically, but outside of that, like, I don't care.
Honestly, he ain't got nothing to prove. Man.
No,
Hayes has said this a million times. MHJ is the only generational talent in the draft. I've said that since day one. I've said that since day one.
He's a monster, bro. I don't know if he's generational. I don't know if anybody's generational until they become generational.
Would you put him on the level of Megatron?
I would
potentially. Yeah.
I would say if he comes into the league right now and he's paired up with the right duo or he's with the right
that's
team,
a good point. Right.
Right. He will be a top 5 wide receiver in the draft. His rookie year.
That's crazy, bro.
And he'll have.
I mean, because Megatron was on Detroit,
and he'll have.
Wasn't he literally the only offensive weapon they had?
Yeah, and he retired in like 8 years, 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, he got tired of losing.
Him and Barry Sanders, they got tired, bro.
Man, got tired of getting them. You seen his feet That's when he got tired of them. Feet was getting beat up out there, man.
But you know what? Pat, I wanted to address this too because I was looking at a show, Uninterrupted, Undisputed, not Uninterrupted, Undisputed with Keyshawn and Skip, and Keyshawn made some really good points.
Yeah.
You know, him being a number one pick, wide receiver, he mentioned that this whole hype around why they feel they need to let go of Justin, because you know if they get Caleb Williams on a rookie contract, you know that could reset the market. And he's saying that whole narrative has been overblown for years, and people need to stop saying that, especially with the amount of money that we have now. It shouldn't matter that much if that we're going to reset the rookie contract for the quarterback position. No. You know, over the fact that if you keep Justin, you're addressing all of these other needs on the team while also keeping somebody who's already built up that chemistry, built up that camaraderie with the locker room, with the players, with the organization, with the city, and you move forward with that. I thought that was a really good point by him in the show.
It's also with the amount of money that you're you have to think, right? Like Caleb Williams comes in realistically making more money than Justin Fields does next year.
Yep.
It's also with the amount of money that you're paying in the long run. Right now, here's the thing. The amount of money matters when you're in the position. The amount of money matters when you're here. The amount of money does not matter when you have the answer.
Yeah.
Right? You remember everybody, how can you pay Lamar? How can you can't go out there and give Lamar Jackson that kind of money? The guarantees. What did it get? Lamar got paid. We ain't heard one person say Lamar didn't deserve that money.
Yep.
As he just won an MVP.
There you go.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe maybe they do take draft one of those quarterbacks like JJ McCarthy or something like that, stash them, put them to the side, keep Fields. And I mean, I'm looking at here and saying that his first year, this coming year, he'd be $6 million, but then after that, it'd be $25 million. So for $31 million. So that basically will rank him in 14th among quarterbacks with the QB cap hits for 2025. So, yeah. I mean, honestly, he's getting paid like a middle of the pack quarterback. Honestly, I don't think it'll be a big deal to the cap. It wouldn't hurt that bad, especially with the cap going up like that, man. So I don't know. It might not be a bad idea to try and go after.
The money aspect of it certainly changes things. Yeah. The money aspect of it, to me, certainly puts you in a different light. And I think it puts you in a different light because now you're less worried about how much you're paying. Right? Like if you get Justin Fields on a Daniel Jones type deal now, I can still build my team.
Mm-hmm.
The cap took the biggest jump it's taken since we've had a salary cap.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right, like, and
it's a good point.
And it's not to say that I don't think that. I guess what I'm saying is there's a path either way. Again, back to in polls we trust. There's a path either way to go out there and actually be able to have success on the Justin Fields side. There's a path to have success on the Caleb Williams side, and which path is going to? I guess the real question is, right, which generational talent do you believe in more? Do you believe in Caleb more? Do you believe in MHJ more?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm being real, I think Caleb is an immensely talented player. I think he's going to come into the NFL. I think he's going to have a nice NFL career. I think that in the right situation, he could become that talent that people realistically believe that he's going to be.
Yeah.
I feel like I know what Marvin Harrison Jr. is.
Man, look.
I ain't seen him take a snap of NFL football. I feel like he's going to walk onto the field and somebody's going to be like, I bet I ain't living. He all hype. We out here. I'm going to match it. And then he's just going to like cook somebody. He's it's going to be Snead, right? Old boy was asking about Snead earlier. Snead going to be lined up across from him and he's going to go out there and he's going to cook him up. He's going to be like, hey, he was for real, dog. I thought they was joking this whole time. Like, I really do believe.
Can you imagine that, though? You got DJ Moore and you got MHJ, like two number one legit wide receivers on your team. You can't lose.
Yeah.
You could just throw that ball up and it's like they're gonna go grab it, bro. It's like you're not about to how tall is he, by the way, MHJ? What,
6'4"? 6'4".
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm not sitting here and I think what's interesting is when you look at when you take DJ Moore outside of the equation, the Bears had wide receivers who had the least amount of separation, a wide receiver group that had the least amount of separation in the NFL. When Justin Fields, maybe it's more of a flaw in him, but he's not going to sit there and throw it unless it is his version of NFL Open, not what NFL Open actually is. He's not going to risk it because guess what? It all goes back on him, right? The ball getting popped up in the air. Nobody sits there at the end of the season and goes, oh, Justin Fields has 2 interceptions that shouldn't count on his record. They say Justin Fields has, 12 interceptions or 14 interceptions?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like, and so that's the part where it's like, why is it that when he throws the football to DJ Moore is so much more confident than when he throws the football to Darnell Mooney? Why is it when he throws the football to DJ Moore in tight windows, in tight spaces, where it is NFL Open, that he's more confident throwing it there than when he's throwing the football to Tyler Scott?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why, to me,
that's a good point.
It's interesting to say, where does your confidence lie in the generational quarterback first? Where does your confidence lie in the generational wide receiver second? And can the generational wide receiver make the, say, okay quarterback, good quarterback better?
Jamar Chase.
Here's my thing. I think that you take more of a chance with Marvin Harrison Jr. coming in and contributing to that better than I think Caleb would be, because at the quarterback position, you're as many people would say, you're the CEO of the team. You know, coming in as a rookie, no matter how good you are, there's going to be a learning curve. There has to be like a moment or a certain amount of time where the game is just going to be way too fast for you. The defense is going to be on you all the time. Like, the pressure is going to be insurmountable, and there's going to be a learning curve, which is why a lot of the good ones usually sit a year if they have that chance. If they go to the right team, they're sitting behind a vet quarterback to learn. And we talk about Patrick Mahomes all the time being very, very good and the GOAT already. He went about it the right way. He went to the right system, right coach, but he also sat a year behind a vet that taught him. And so when you don't have that situation like we have here in the Chicago Bears situation, whether we're picking Justin or whether we're going with Caleb, either one is going to start next year.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a little bit of a growing pain for Caleb if he comes here.
What's the situation that hits the ground running quicker? Caleb Williams with the DJ Moore combination and whatever else you bring in, right? There's probably still going to be, you would think the defense is going to be what the defense is going to be. And then you add to that, of course, you're going to add in probably another edge rusher and or 3 technique, depending on what you put into the defense. But offensively, you're probably adding in at least another wide receiver if you're going Caleb. I would think you're probably paying somebody to come in there. I don't know how much that's going to be or who that's going to be. Or you keep Justin, you keep the offense in place, you keep the continuity in place, and you add in what could be, what I believe is a generational wide receiver with 2 DJ Moore and Cole Kmet, who basically was your number 2 last year. Which leads to playoffs quicker, I guess. Because here's the thing. You draft Caleb Williams got to get to the playoffs so everybody's fired.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. If I'm Eberflus, I'm like, yo, I got to win this year, right? So why not give me the guy that's going to take us there and elevate the rest of the team? Let's keep Fields. Let's go ahead and draft MHJ, and let's build around this team. Let's trade down and build around this team. I mean, I think that's the best path going forward. If you honestly looking for a way to just be successful and have you a chance to win, the NFC is weak. You know, so if the NFC is weak, you know, you got an opportunity to at least get to the NFC Championship game and make some noise. Let's see what happens.
My thing is,
by the way, over 200 in the chat.
Hey, 200. Let's go. Where them likes at, y'all? Where them likes at? My thing is that if you're going with Caleb, the issues, and this is why I always say the things off the field matters, the intangibles, the chemistry, the connection with the teammates, that's already there with Justin. As we just mentioned, you know, DJ Moore had his best receiving season in the league 1 year, you know, with Justin. That has to be built up if Caleb comes in here. And then he has to build that up with if we get another receiver in free agency, whether it be Mike Evans or Curtis Samuel, Calvin Ridley, whoever we're getting as well. Like, that has to be built up completely with the rookie quarterback. You don't have any chemistry at all with any of these players. So that's what you have to factor in on top of the fact that you got to be a better team.
Must keep saying Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley feel done to me.
I think he's a
You
little
think so? He had a really good
He a
season.
little
He had a really good season this year with Trevor.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be better
He's
than
not
he is.
Atlanta
Yeah,
Calvin Ridley.
yeah,
I
I
give you
mean,
that. He
it
ain't
feel like
Falcons
that
Calvin
that
Ridley.
year off be breaking players.
Yeah, he ain't what he used to be, but I say he's a wide receiver 3. If he's your third receiver, I'd take him over Mooney any day.
Fair.
Yeah, but he's probably not your third receiver if you drafting Caleb Williams. He's probably your second receiver.
Which is why you go get MHJ and get Calvin Ridley in free agents. That's what I would do.
Hey, that's not a bad idea, to be honest. But I mean,
I don't know. It's just it's one of those situations where what's going to get you to hit the ground running and what's going to give you the best success long term. I guess realistically, right? If you're moving in, I can see success coming from either one. There's just to me more pressure on Caleb to come in here and be successful right away because I don't believe you can take a step back. I really don't. I don't believe that you can go out there and you can be a 7-win team. Now, if you're a 7-win team, but right, somebody massive gets hurt on defense and offensively, you see like Caleb Williams slinging that pill in there, right? Like there's nuance to all of the conversation that we're having here. Yeah. But if you go out there and the offense looks like an offense would look with a rookie quarterback, or I'll say this, if it doesn't look like CJ Stroud, if your offense doesn't look as good as what CJ Stroud did last year.
And that's what a lot of people banking on.
Y'all out of there. Everybody's getting fired.
Yeah.
Hey, Flus,
facts.
Love the beard. Take the beard to the next team.
Yeah.
Steve-O, facts. He better make the playoffs. That's my thing.
And to that point, bro, I'm looking at Steve-O's comment too. Like, and Poles talked about this. He's looking for a leader. He's looking for somebody that can handle the pressure. He talked about Chicago and the pressure. Obviously, the media.
There you go.
The media pressure is crazy. It's like New York. You know what I mean? So if you ain't producing, it's like what happens if you get there and it's like you're not able to live up to the level that we need you to be at to be successful, bro. Like honestly, this is a lose-lose situation for everybody if he doesn't come in and be a top 15, top 10 level quarterback.
That's the reason why I think the interview process is going to be so important. I really wish I could be there like a fly on the wall to see exactly what Ryan Poles is going to ask Caleb in particular, because we've talked about Caleb Williams not having that, or at least what we saw in the pressure moments, right? We're talking about pressure. What does he do in pressure?
Right.
It looks like he folds a little bit. Looks like he doesn't like taking the pressure. Looks like he doesn't like addressing, the questions from the media. Those are things that I hope Ryan Poles is really going to pinpoint when it comes to going one-on-one with Caleb.
I love this question for P. Kid. If wins aren't a QB stat, why is the pressure so high?
Jobs on the line.
Because you're moving on from a quarterback that you felt could have made the playoffs this year if a couple of decisions were made the right way by the coaches. There's some games where it feels like it's by Justin as well, but you feel like there's a couple of games that you should have had if your coaches make the right decision. You would hope that your coaches have learned from that, and they're more inclined to put you in a winning playoff situation. It's not about the pressure being just on Caleb. It's about the pressure of the team. You're moving on from a guy that it felt like improved in the second half of the season. You're moving on from a guy that you felt like got better and when he came back from his thumb injury to go get the next young piece that's supposed to be the generational talent. That's the best thing that we've seen assessed since Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck came in and won games. Andrew Luck came in and put up tutties. Andrew Luck, and again, it's all nuanced, right? Like if something happens where like they're losing because of other things, that's different, right? If they're losing because of Flus should still be fired. If they're losing because he doesn't kick the football, or they're losing because he doesn't have Montez Sweat in the game in the fourth quarter on one of the most important drives, that's very different, right? Like all of this conversation is nuanced, but I think the pressure on the Bears to succeed, that right now is what Caleb is walking into. And that's a situation where if he doesn't, they will fire everybody.
I mean, he needs to at least get us to the playoffs at minimum.
Well, I'll put it like this. I think that who's really on the hot seat is going to be Eberflus, because we talked about this before. I think Poles is a master at, he has his master plan, but then he also has the backup plan. Who did they hire at OC? Shane Waldron. Who did they have as offensive game coordinator or pass game coordinator? Thomas Brown.
You got Thomas Bryant, yeah.
Thomas Brown. Those two guys were interviewed and considered for OC. We already talked about Shane Waldron possibly being a head coach potentially. So if Matt Eberflus doesn't do what he's supposed to do this year, potentially they could go in a direction where they just put those two people up the board, up the organization line, HC, OC.
And Kid responds said, I think people want to mount pressure on Caleb as retribution. By the way, can Caleb be Aleb as retribution for Justin?
Zaleb.
That's kind of fire.
We got Zaleb in the
fire
building.
name if he actually is amazing. I think people want to mount pressure on Caleb as retribution for Justin. I don't think so, because I think no matter what, we were coming into this season expecting playoffs.
Yep.
No matter what, we were coming into this season expecting and that's why if you move on from the quarterback, and everything that Ryan Poles has said has been, we're doing this to get better. We're not making moves to get worse.
And I think if you keep Fields, I feel like the troops are going to rally around Fields. Like, honestly, they all want Fields to be on it. It's crazy to me because you get all these ex-players, and the only people that's really talking Caleb really is the media. But when you look at the ex-players or players that currently play in the NFL, they all singing Justin's praises of why the Bears should keep him. Keyshawn Johnson. So it's like, I wonder which one is actually the realistic way you should look at things as far as which route we should take, because the NFL players know something maybe that the media is not seeing.
It's just funny to me because it's like, let's say everything happens similar this season that it happens next season. The conversation isn't going to be Caleb Williams can't play football. The conversation is going to be that the Chicago Bears made too many mistakes and they didn't support Caleb Williams. Just like it was when Justin was a rookie.
Yeah.
That's what it always is. That's what we go through this same cycle.
They didn't have enough around him to succeed.
That's what it always is. We go through the same cycle every single year, or every single time it's time to move on or add a new quarterback or whatever it is, right? Where the first year is like, well, the Bears didn't help him out. The second year, all right, we need to see more. You see a little bit more, but we didn't see enough more. The third year, well, if he doesn't do it here, it's time to move on. Then you get to year 4 and it's like, all right, well, I mean, we're not picking up his option. Let's bring in the new guy. And then the new guy has the same issues that the old guy had. And we go, well, I mean, the Bears didn't do enough to support him. We've done that for 4 quarterbacks now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, and so it's not a slight on Caleb one way or the other. It's more of a, if you're coming here to a team that feels like it's moving in the right direction, you're looking to hit the ground running. You don't get as much of a rookie wall, especially when you're the number 1 overall pick.
Yep. A lot of hype.
The only reason we don't talk about Trevor Lawrence, I swear, is because he's in Jacksonville and nobody cares. Every other quarterback.
That is true.
Every other quarterback that's been a number 1 overall pick, bro, like, has gotten eviscerated. That's been bad, has gotten eviscerated. Cleveland get more coverage.
Hey, that would be funny. Hey, Lamont's comment. Caleb, let's say we do get Caleb and he throws 2 picks. Soldier Field gonna go crazy. They gonna want what's the backup name?
Yeah, that's no.
They're gonna Tyson Bagent, Agent season again.
2.0.
But that's not different though. Justin got booed.
Oh boy.
Justin got booed multiple times in Soldier Field.
But see, that goes back to the pressure.
That's just playing here. Like, I get it. Like, everybody always wants the kumbaya. Oh, here we go. We love everybody. That's not Chicago.
No, that ain't Chicago.
It's not Chicago. You got
to show.
That's why you have to be a certain kind of player to come here. That's why you have to be a certain kind of have a certain kind of level-headedness to come here, because realistically, that's what you're going to get in Chicago. Like it or hate it. Guess what? You get that in New York. You get that in San Francisco. When you play bad, they speak up.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. I'm not. I think at the end of the day, listen, Ryan Poles gonna do what Ryan Poles gonna do. And
Devo said he gonna get that Cody Parkey boo. That would be the worst boo.
Oh, I don't know if he gonna get the
Get
Parkey
you out of town.
Nobody can get the Parkey boo. Parkey's still getting booed.
Hey, I feel bad for that
still
dude.
getting booed. Gucci said we ain't booed Justin. All right.
No, that ain't true. That ain't true.
Justin Fields left the half with 45 yards. They booed that man.
Yeah.
Booed. Get off the field. Hey,
maybe not you, but they definitely did.
Let's talk about we didn't boo Justin. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to Show Love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For JC and C-Dub, we'll be back tomorrow with more Bears talk. Bear down, Bears fans. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.